Hey everyone, it's Evan from Blue Ridge Hike and Bike. Today I'll be hiking the Kephart Prong trail up to Charlies Bunion on the 18th. This is an approximately 14-mile loop, so I'm here nice and early at 9 in the morning. It is Tuesday, March 11th, up in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The trail heads right off Newfound Gap Road, like 5 minutes past Smokemont Campground. We start off by crossing the Conneluck River here, and then heading up this old forest road for the next 2 miles to get to the Kephart shelter. From there, we'll start by ascending up the escarpment to the Appalachian Trail and Charlies Bunion. At about 0.2 miles up into the trail, they'll come across the ruins of an old CCC camp built during the Great Depression that housed around 200 workers here as they worked on projects all around the Smokies. There's a chimney back there, there's a few footers, and there's that mantle fireplace looking thing at the front as well. About a mile or so into the hike, and so far it's beautiful. Start off walking along the river, but then soon you head up into this narrow river valley with the river far below, the mountains up on the side. It is on a forest road, which isn't quite as nice, but the forest road will end in about a mile, and it's still beautiful here, and you get fantastic views of the Rocky Mountain slopes on the side as you walk up here. Just made to the Kephart shelter. Took right up onto Grassy Branch where it is 3.8 miles up to the Appalachian Trail. Kephart Prong was overall a nice trail. It was a road and it got really rocky at times, but it was pretty, had a moderate grade. It's not a trail I'd do for fun, but to get to the rest of the area, it's perfectly fine. It's a nice warm up. Now this trail is single track, a good bit steeper, and will take me all the way up to the top of the escarpment. So, got a good bit of elevation gain left to go. So far, the Grassy Creek Trail has been a really nice trail so far. It's not nicer to be on the single track. It has not been that steep, but we're still ascending at a steady pace. Not quite as rough either. It's been primarily side slopes, so you have really nice views in the winter right now of the river down in the valley and some of the rhododendrons along that. Overall, this is a really nice trail. The hike has been starting out great fun so far. halfway up the mountain, the forest has really opened up. It's become a much more dry forest with a few of the shrubs, some grass on it, much more open and sunny. I gotta say, it's a beautiful day out here. Perfect temperature for a hike. As it gets warmer, I get higher, so it stays right around that good, like 60, 65 degrees this whole time. Finally made it to the top of Dry Sluice Gap Trail, or of Grassy Creek Trail, where it meets Dry Sluice Gap Trail. Just had lunch, I came up over there, and now we'll be heading over here for 1.3 miles until we hit the Appalachian Trail, and that's where our Charlies Bunion is. For that, we'll head over on the AT to Sweat Heifer Trail, and that'll take us back down to Kephart. As I've gotten higher on this trail, the environment has really turned to a really dry slopeside forest. I can tell it gets a lot of sun. It's very grassy. Good number of views out through the trees here. A bunch of shorter trees intermixed with pines. It's definitely an entirely different forest from where the trail started. Starting to get some of the first really nice views from the trail. That mountain right over there is Mount Kephart. We'll be going just below that, and that'll be the high point on the trail. First little bit of descent finally over to Charlies Bunion, and then time to go up over there, midpoint and high point of the trail. You can see Charlies Bunion right over there. Trail has now moved into a thick rhododendron pine forest, which really adds to the high alpine feel. Right back there in kind of the shadow of the mountain, there's still a lot of snow on the ground, which gave it a really surreal feeling of, oh yeah, there's some more ice right there, where it feels like summer. The temperature feels like summer. I'm wearing short sleeves and shorts. See all the green around me, and then there's big patches of snow and ice on the trail. just made it to the AT and I was rewarded with this fantastic view right here. So it's nice to be off that trail, and we're almost to Charlies Bunion. The AT is also quite on the cliff's edge right here. Do not want to fall down there. Just take this right over to Charlies Bunion. It's like half a mile, and then we'll be right over there, and then on to Icewater Spring, and then down to the Sweat Heifer Trail. Sweat Heifer Boulevard and Kephart Mountains. Overall, it's been a really fantastic hike. Turns out where I was not the official Charlies Bunion. It was the one labeled as on the map as the mountain Charlies Bunion, but the official one is signed and a lot nicer and safer to get to. So don't go where I did. Still, both are incredible overlooks. Give you the same view, but one is a heck of a lot safer. The official one is a little loop trail that is marked going either way. Can't miss it. It's just kind of really icy and slick up here. After all, I am approaching the highest elevation, but this water has gone down and refrozen, so it is really, really slippery right now. It feels weird. I'm in shorts and t-shirt, and yet there's ice on the ground. Just past Icewater Spring Shelter a minute ago. It's a nice shelter, not super big, and you do need reservations for it. There's a nice little field with good views from there. There's a little spring just down the trail as well. I don't know if I'd stay there because the shelters have mice and everything, but overall it's a nice little place. The nice thing though is it means that I have about 0.2 more before I'm done with every bit of uphill on this hike, which will feel very nice because it is 3,600 feet of elevation change. Well, I just made it to the intersection of the Appalachian Trail and Boulevard Trail. Boulevard Trail goes that way, and it ends up at Mountain Cotton, about 5 miles. Gives you some of the best views. Not doing that. I'll be taking the AT down here over to the Sweat Heifer Trail. And that will take me back down to Kephart Shelter and then back to my car. AT section is really nice. You can definitely tell once you pass Charlies Bunion that the trail gets a lot more used with all the day hikers coming from the Gap. Trail is rather muddy there, and there's a good bit of slush on it. Downright hazardous in one area where like a foot of ice had built up over a rock, like outcropping on the trail. But I'm very lucky to be going through later in the day when most of the ice has started to become slush, and there's still a lot of slush on the trail. So with it being all very damp, it would be rather hazardous if you don't have crampons to come through here early in the morning while everything is still frozen up. Just made it to the actual summit, which is Mount Ambler on this section of the AT. So now I'm heading all the way down. Don't have any uphill from here, which feels very nice. I'll be able to make much better time getting down to my car. After all, it is 3:54. So sunsets at 7:30. So I don't have a ton of time, but I'll be able to make good time. Also past halfway, so I have about 6 miles to go. Still a good bit of snow and slush up here in this section of the trail. Well, I just turned off the AT onto the Sweat Heifer Creek Trail. This is a lot less used than the AT, which is going to be nice because it's going to be nice to not have constant crowds of people walking by on AT. Still very pretty. It's about 3.7 miles from here down to the Kephart Prong Trail, which will take me back to my car. So definitely on the closing side of the loop. There's going to be a waterfall down here, and I gotta say it's real nice to be on the way downhill. It's also nice to not be quite as muddy as the AT is without how much foot traffic it gets. Just found myself on the section of trail that follows an old rail train. Right up there we see the waterfall. So just about more than halfway down the Sweat Heifer Creek Trail. And I gotta say, my feet are sore and I am looking forward to taking a seat and getting a nice hot dinner. Good bit of blowdowns on this section of trail too. Waterfall is surprisingly below where the trail crosses. Not the most impressive, but still very nice to have a waterfall on the trail. And more of a cascades too than a waterfall. just left the Kephart shelter, heading down on Kephart Prong, which means I have less than 2 miles to get back to the car. Looking forward to being back there. My feet are sore and tired. Overall, it's been an incredible hike, though. It is getting kind of dark, though. It is now 6:20, so I'm hoping to make it back before 7, which means I have to make pretty good time. Well, I just made it back to the trailhead, and I gotta say this was a fantastic hike. Like, it was quite long. I did make it right back at 7, so I hit my goal. Oh, but it was an utterly amazing hike. I'd say 10 out of 10 pretty much. Only thing is that it did have a lot of elevation gain, but other than that, it was fantastic. You had the river at the start on the gravel road, then you had the side slope forest, then you got into rhododendrons, then you got into a mix of pine, then you got like the high altitude plains with the grass forest, and then you got the nice pine balsam moss forest up at the top. So you really got a view of everything the Smokies has to offer in this one loop. You got the rivers, you got the peaks, the Appalachian Trail, you get one waterfall, which isn't the greatest, but still everything is super, super beautiful. I'd highly recommend doing this trail if you are looking for a nice long hike in the Smokies. It might be better as a one-night backpacking trip, either at Kephart or Ice Water Shelter, just because it's quite long. I got out here at like 9:15, just got back at 7, and I'm a faster hiker, so if you're looking at a shorter hike, you might want to do that later. Overall, if you liked the video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you want more. It really helps me keep doing all this stuff. Thank you for watching.